Hey, good day, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It's a beautiful Monday, or Tuesday. It's Tuesday here. Tuesday in Maine. The sun is shining. It's morning time. So I'm just hopping on because I do have a specific message that I'd like to share today. Spirit just isn't letting it go. I can't start my day until I just relay the information going through me. You know, when your energy gets like all built up and here or in here, whether you're channeling information or whether you know you got to get something done or whether you got a pack to go somewhere, or, you know, that energy is really motivating you forward. Well, that's the energy that is overwhelming me, and I know I'm not going to be able to do anything or focus on anything unless I share this message. So all my messages and all my channelings and all my shares, guys, it all comes from personal experience and personal things that I'm going through. So I figure if I'm going through it, because we're all aspects of one another, that somebody else out there is also going through it, so I share it. Now the reason for sharing isn't even for the others, guys. This message is all about connecting to your light and not contaminating it. I'll say contaminating it or filtering it from other energies. It's all about connecting to your light. And it's not even about helping somebody else, I realize. It's not even about someone else getting it. It's all just about emitting the light that you are, connecting to your joy and connecting to your frequency. Because in that, you automatically help others. You automatically connect or expand something in mass consciousness that needs to be expanded. It is you, through your human experience, through your human vessel, that you are the change. And I know we all know this, and all of my shares are information that you already know. But the example that I'm going to share with you, as you'll see, sometimes we start getting caught up. We take our focus out of here, guys, out of the heart, out of the light that we are, out of this place. And what we do sometimes is we slip into the outside. We start living and basing our energy from out here instead of in here, but everything out there is from in here. I'm just really realizing no fulfillment is out there. No, it all is in here. Your PowerPoint is in here. And sometimes we slip into the outside energies. We start basing what we do in here and how we want to share it from out here. And out here is just energy, a web of energy, mixed in with new energies, mixed in with old energies that we at any moment through our focus can tune into. But what happens sometimes is when we tune into that energy, we become overwhelmed. We get almost caught literally in a spider's web when we take our focus out there instead of in here. So what happens a lot of time is we connect to the light in here. We connect to that spark, and that spark can also be equated as our gift, because it is our gift. It's the gift to ourself. It's the gift that we've come to illuminate in the world, and that gift is simply whatever in every moment in the present that connects us to this feeling, guys, to our joy, to the light, to freedom, to liberation. And what happens is sometimes we connect to this and we're excited and we're sharing. And it doesn't have to be in a spiritual platform or realm of sharing. It can be something as simple as decorating your house or taking care of family or creating a dinner or work, something that has excited you. But then what happens? We all of a sudden we stepped out of this alignment and stepped out of here into the outside frequencies, circumstances, distractions is the word. And I like to equate it like it came to me this morning, and I like to equate it with Christmas. Think of how beautiful Christmas is as a kid. And then as you're a parent or you start having kids, you want them to feel that same feeling. And then over time, we start making it more complex. We start making it busier based on outside expectations, based on what others are doing, based on mass consciousness. So we took the simple concept of Christmas to a child that's receiving a gift, but ultimately that gift is symbolic of Christ's consciousness, of Christ being born, of the light, of you connecting to your light in within. Christ is within you. Christ is Christ consciousness. We all are that as a human or as a spiritual being. We tend to connect with that more. But anyways, to get back just to the human part of Christmas, what we do is we take something so beautiful and pure and we start throwing on, we slip from out here, go out here, and we start slipping on all these have-tos. All these things projected we see in media, all the things we see family doing, and we take this simple concept of Christmas and we just contaminated it and we made it a stressful, anxious situation where, oh my God, I got to create this dinner, I got to invite these people, I got to make it over to these many houses, I got to fulfill all my kids' desires on their lists, I got to start worrying about getting the groceries, pre-prepping. And I saw all of this when I did hair through clients. They'd say, oh, are you getting ready for Christmas yet? Are you almost set? And it's like weeks before. And I'm like, all I got to do is handle what I got in the now. I can't pre-bake. They would pre-bake and start cooking and freezing and making this simple, beautiful thing of Christ consciousness or of Christmas into this extremely complex thing based on other people's realities. And then you go in the stores and then you start thinking, oh my God, this latest gadget or this present, and you got to do this and that. And it's so easy sometimes to get out of here and go zoop and slip out into the consciousness of old energies being created. Yeah, you're correct. We are collectively creating that outside world, but when we bring it in here, then we make a conscious choice to create what we want out here. And I'm not saying it's all bad and old. I don't want to say it's negative, but when you're feeling really heavy and blocked, and this is bringing me to my personal experience of creating Christmas or hell, what you did in that Christmas experience is you ended up creating a beautiful, simple experience and creating a hell for yourself because you took that inner beauty, the connection, the family, maybe the connection with your kids or whatever way you connect to Christmas, whatever that is for you. And even if you don't believe in Christmas, Christmas is just an analogy I'm using for this. Connecting to the light within, connecting to the light within you. And what happens is sometimes we connect to that light initially, and then it can feel like this. It feels like everything is upside down now. We just turned our world upside down because when you connect to that light, you do have to clear things that no longer work for you. You got to let go of old beliefs and paradigms that no longer work for you. When you connect to the light that you are, how the outside is operating won't necessarily jive with your expression and your connection to the light that you are. We take our connection and sometimes we try to make it operate according to the outside world. We try to even take a gift and try to make it into this like business plan. We try to fit it into old modalities and beliefs of how the outside work, even in terms of finances. Like I would get discouraged and say, well, how am I going to take spiritual teachings and create like a revenue, money from it? But it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to operate in the old way, like an actual paycheck. It's abundance in other ways, opportunities, good deals, things that come out of nowhere. So you got to when you try to take something, the light, and connect it to the outside world, it can cause a conflict. It can feel like this. And then it can question you to say, it's like someone who connects with their light and they were really excited, like a musician. Okay, we'll use that for an example. They connect to their light, they've connected to their gift, and then as they become bigger and they get people signing them on and performances to do and record labels and concerts, and then they've got this list of have-tos, it's like they say they've lost that spark. It's no longer exciting. A lot of bands will break up because it's no longer exciting. They lost that connection. It's no longer fun. It's no longer fun. And that's what can happen to us when we take and connect to our gift or whatever that pleasure is in life that excites us, that connects us to our Christmas, our Christ consciousness, but then we try to match it to something of the outside world. It can make it heavy. So the past few days, I've been feeling super heavy and heavy energy. It's just lower dense energies. It's energies that's ready to move out. I even feel like sometimes it feels like a cocoon, like you're in the dark, you're not understanding why you're feeling a certain way, you don't have the motivation, you're just kind of stuck. But then this message here, I started gaining that insight and the light came forth, and then it's like the wings spread and I had to I understood it. I understood that heaviness. I was operating not so much with my shares because I really connect to my joy there, but in my everyday life, just going through the motions, when something is fun initially, like having a baby is fun, then you have another baby, and then you have all these other equations, and then you find yourself going through the routine or going through the motions for the sake of getting it done. And sometimes you lose the joy, you lose that spark. And again, that can be based in trying to match the outside. You took this and you tried to match the outside. Okay, my kids, I need to expose my kids to all these sports, or I need to do this for my kids, or my kids need to get good grades, or my kids, I really shouldn't let them watch violence or whatever. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying anything is good or bad. It's all the experience. But, and then they get more demanding. And then it's just really easy just to go through the motions and kind of lose the spark and the light. And that is just letting us know that something is not in alignment. It allows you to question, okay, why do I do what I do? Why am I even doing it? And that's a beautiful place to be. Sometimes it feels heavy or you're at a loss, but that's a beautiful place to be, because it's a checkpoint in order for you to look within and say, okay, why do I do what I do? Do I really need to do all of these things? Because what happens is when you get into that mindset and you're focused on all these to-dos, then, you know, it creates a momentum. It creates this momentum of having to keep doing. And then you're feeling that heaviness, and that creates a momentum of more and more and more heaviness. And then you're just doing for the sake of doing, and you're doing to achieve an ends of a means, like just going through the house and cleaning, and not, instead of finding the joy or being appreciative, or, you know, it's all about finding that light and reconnecting to that light and eliminating that which diminishes it and, you know, makes it not so vibrant. And when you're not feeling so illuminated and you're not feeling like you look like this or feel like that, it's just a checkpoint and saying, okay, what am I doing? And it's always, always, always to do with what happened is you just stepped out of yourself. You entered the illusion, and the illusion, it really isn't even real. It's based in here. It's based in here. So when you stepped out into the illusion, you've just like tuned into all these other energies, some new, some not new. But they've kind of like this web, and you get kind of caught in it. And sometimes when you're caught in it, it's hard to get out. Like, you know, most of mass consciousness, they're kind of caught in that web, and it's hard for them to get back out. And the way that you get back out is just bringing it back to the breath, guys. Here we go with my cross breath. Bringing it back to the breath, because the breath is the God source energy that you are. It activates who you are. It activates your light. It grounds you. It anchors you back into you. It's all about you. And I don't mean that in a selfish way, because a lot of people think they got to step out, reach out, help others. And sometimes that can be more draining than helpful. You want to always be operating from that light within. When you operate from that light within and then put yourself out there, not out of obligation, not out of thinking you need to do it to achieve an end result, but just for the pure joy, that automatically helps the mass consciousness. That infuses the world. That infuses the grid with this Christ consciousness energy, that Christmas energy. But when you step outside of yourself and you just operate from that web of all these energies from eons in the outside world, you can get caught in it and create yourself a hell. That's why I entitled this, Are You Living in a Christmas or a Hell? Because it's all in here. When you live in here and connect to your light, it always feels more fulfilling and peace. You'll never find your fulfillment and peace solely from the outside world. And that's where we lose it sometimes. That's where I personally will enter moments of depression. Not depression, but you know, those low states, mini depressions, kind of like seasonal disorder where and they don't have enough sun. That is symbolic of them not connecting to the light, the sun within them. Oh my God, that just hit me. And when we base our, so a lot of us will connect to our light, and then we'll take that and again step into the outside of us and say, look for our affirmation on the outside world. Look at how maybe people are receiving your information. Look at maybe how people are connecting to it. Look at how others are doing and sharing their gifts and talents and whatever. Because you are an individual and you're a divine frequency, yours is going to be unique to you, and all it matters is that you're tuning into this, and the outside world will reflect that, because it's so easy to get caught up in what others are doing. And a lot of others, whether you realize it or not, are doing what they think they're supposed to be doing, also based on the outside world. So it's so important to go within and ask yourself, what do I need to do? And it has to be from a place of joy, because that is the momentum you create. If you do the have-tos like me, I'm going to tell you right now, what I find really frustrating is, like, I'll do a share, and oh my God, guys, I'm sure you know and can feel that I really, really, really love it. I love verbal communication, expression, writing, even though I've been more verbal lately. I love that just for the pure joy of it. And if it never went anywhere else but outside my mouth, it brings me such joy and alignment and anchoring in for me. And that's what all of us should be doing for ourselves. But then what happens is we might step out and start comparing and looking at other ways that people are doing things in our realm. And then for me, like, I'm thinking, oh my God, I really should be posting on Instagram, posting on Snapchat, posting and doing all this cross sharing, and it's just overwhelming and it's too much, and really I don't even have it in my heart to do that. And so I got to keep it simple. Life is about keeping it simple. 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 Just like the cross breath. God's source energy is simple. It's not complex. We make it complex by stepping out, and then we have all these mixtures of beliefs and paradigms and old systems also operating out here. So it does take a certain amount of discipline, strength, to go in here, focus in here. It's where your focus goes. If it's in here and connecting to your light and staying in there, you're going to create this, you're going to create that Christmas. But when you step out there and try to match your light or get your light to fit out there, it's not always cohesive. And then the more you do that, the more heavy and drained you get, because it's telling you something is not right. Heavy, drained energy means you're not operating from the light. You're doing things out of have-tos. You're doing things out of obligation. You're doing things out of expectations. You're doing things from perceiving something not for the truth of what it is, because none of that's the truth of what you are. This is the truth of what you are. You're a light being. And when you connect to that light, when you connect to that Christmas and stay in there, then you allow and open and receive all that you do need. And you will be guided from the outside world to do things. And your gauge, if you should be doing it, does it feel good? Does it feel light? Or does it feel like I have to, and like, and then have this mentality, well, I am in the earthly existence, I still got to do that. But do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? You can create something new. So this share is just about when we take our light and we connect to it, and then at a later date we might think, why the hell am I even doing this? What difference am I? Does it even matter? But if you base it on the outside of it mattering, no, it won't ever matter, because all that really matters is it matters to you, that you connect to it, that it brightens you, that it illuminates your light. All else will fall into place, because all else is a reflection of that. So that's all I wanted to share, because I've been feeling really, really heavy, and I'm thinking, holy crap, am I even enjoying my day? And am I even like the have-tos, thinking I got to get all these things done, but do I really even need to? If it's not bringing me joy, or I can't find that, step into that perception of it being joyous or fun or appreciative or finding gratitude in it, then yeah, I'm probably better off without it. Like just going through the have-tos of fixing breakfast, doing Mythos's work, doing what I need to do around the house. I got to tell you, the thing that infuses the most joy are my shares, guys. It's my shares, because that's where I connect to my light. So whatever that place is that you guys can share, or not share, but connect to your light. You don't have to share it. Just connect to your light and immerse yourself into that. And that is what true self-love is, because you're connecting to the love that you already are. That will give you the strength, and that will create that momentum that will help to raise your frequency to handle things that, mundane things in life, and to ask yourself, well, how can I infuse it with joy? How can I find the joy? Because the only time you're not feeling or connected to that joy is when you're really, really heavy and dense. You feel depressed. Depressed people are partially depressed because they're looking on the outside world. They're trying to get affirmation from the outside world. They're trying to fit in from the outside world. They're trying to validate their worth. We can't do that, guys. This whole message is about, you can't have the outside world validate, affirm, confirm, any of that for you. You have to trust yourself. Trust your own connection to your light. If it feels good, from a pure way, I'm not talking addictions. If it feels good, it is right. It is right. And I'm not saying all those other things aren't right, because they're right, because they help to point us to the light. They help us to learn. They help us to emerge from that cocoon with our wings. So I know I probably threw a lot and jumped all over the place, but just connect to your light and keep it as purified as possible. And I don't mean that anything on the outside is not pure. I just mean it doesn't serve you anymore. It isn't necessarily in alignment to your light. If it drags you down, if it heavies you. You guys are all special. You are all gods. You are all beings of light. This is what you guys all are. Find that connection. And you start with the breath. Even if you don't know what that connection is, even if you don't know what your gift is, even if you don't know how God Source speaks to you, he's speaking to you through your, I say he, but it's you. You are speaking to yourself and activating your light within you through your breath. Even if you don't understand the details or the specifics, you don't need to. Because you are all that. You are all of it. You are light. You are love. And if you're not enjoying your life, it's time for you to step into and connect to that. It is so easy to get caught up in the outside world and what everybody else is saying, doing, circulating, even preaching, even including myself. Do what connects to you. Holy crap, I have to have an alternate life as a preacher, because holy crap, I could just go on forever, and I love it. But I love it from the point that it's through a connection to my light, and it's liberating and it's freeing, and I just want everybody else to feel that. I just want everybody else to connect to that light. But that's stupid in itself, because we're all reflections of each other, and you are me and I am you. So if I'm feeling someone out there isn't doing that, then I'm not doing it. So it gets a little paradoxical and whatever, but the main thing is just focus on your light. And if other people are criticizing, or you are getting outwardly, not even by focusing out there, but something enters in your path, it's just a little reminder, okay, what within do I need to release about myself? What doubt am I holding on to? What pain or hate do I have towards myself? What lack of love do I have to myself? When you are feeling, say if you are feeling criticized, or you are feeling no one gets you, it's just something within yourself that you're not getting. The outside world, life, is such a beautiful, beautiful gift, because it is the direct mirror to let us know where we are energetically. Nothing is required of us, guys. There are no have-tos. We don't need to fix anything. We don't even need to fix ourselves. But if we want to live that life of joy, if we want to live that heaven on earth, if we want to live Christmas, I mean, it is essential to connect to the God Source that you are, because that's where your power is. That's all of that you are anyways, whether you realize it or not. All right, hopefully this made a little sense to you guys. If not, I'm sure you at least, energy just, even if you don't understand words, the words hold powerful vibrations, and when they are delivered, or when they are meant with the purest of intent of love, that comes through, and that activates, that heals. All right, guys, so let's see if we can get a little peek of the sun, and we'll end it with a cross breath. The sun is up there behind the trees. The sun is the perfect reflection of who you are, guys. It is the light within you. It is a reflection of the light within you. It contains powerful codes that we've been taught to hide from. You know, stay away from the sun. The sun is harmful. The sun causes cancer. The sun does this. The sun does that. I mean, obviously everything in moderation, but it is so important to connect to the sun, because it's that perfect embodiment of the light that you are within you. Just like Mother Earth is the perfect embodiment of the physical reality that we live. And obviously the sun is part of Gaia, part of that system. And it all comes together to just create this beautiful, beautiful vessel, this beautiful experience. It doesn't matter what other people's experiences are. Don't look outside in the outside world for your affirmation of your worth, because all that matters is your experience. That's why you're here, guys. You came to experience through the physical vessel, all through senses, to embrace it, to live it. It all comes down to you. It doesn't matter what others say about it. It doesn't matter what they're doing. Sure, we can all help each other and guide each other if it feels good, but if it feels heavy and doesn't resonate, then stay away. Go back in within you and connect to your light. And then you reflect, as you connect to your light, you reflect those tribal members. You reflect those more purified reflections of yourself, like Mother Earth. So as we take a deep breath in, guys, through our nose, and we hold it, imagine our entire being, that angel of light, that little image I show you all the time. It's all culminating in the center of who you are, your heart area. It's getting bigger and brighter, and it's moving energies, and it's moving those blocks. And as you exhale, push it all out. Know that all that is not serving you is releasing you. It's going back into Gaia to be purified. And not only that, you're releasing your activation, your light energy to be reflected in your physical reality. As you breathe in and hold it, imagine every little molecule, particle, cell within your entire physical being vibrating in the pure light that it is, God's source energy. And when you're holding it, it's vibrating. It's getting bigger, 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 bigger. And then when you exhale, you are releasing that activation of all that you are to be visible in your physical manifestation. How beautiful. All the power. I know it's a cliche. I know many people say it and you know it, but all the power is within, guys. All healing is within. When you connect and align to the light that you are, because it's a high frequency, all that isn't aligned to it has to leave you. You shift to a new reality. You shift to a new body. You shift to a piece of a version of you that's healed and full and illuminated. It's all about connecting to your light, guys. You guys are the Christ consciousness embodiment. All right, guys. I love you. And may you all shine with the entirety of all the light that you are.